In this video, we'll go through the basics of TradingView to get you up and running before we start doing technical analysis. We'll start by heading over to TradingView.com. On the front page we can see that we can start searching the markets right away, and we have all these other options at the top. But we'll focus on just looking at the chart and the basics in TradingView first. So you don't need an account to use TradingView, but if you don't have an account, you will be asked to log in after some minutes, and then you will just have to start all over again if you refresh the page. I recommend that you just create an account right away, as it will make it much easier for you in the long run. To get started, just press the blue Get Started button in the upper right corner. On this page we can see that there are several paid subscription packages that you can choose from, but you don't need to pay anything to start using TradingView. Just click the blue sign up button in the upper right corner, or you can scroll down and press the Try Free Basic button. All the things you need to start with your technical analysis is included in the basic package, and if you like to utilize the other features from the paid subscription, you can just pay for that later. So just start by signing up, and then we are ready to continue. Once you're logged in and back at the home page, we can start searching the markets. Just push the button in the middle of the screen that says Search Markets here. At the top we get a search box, and you can search for whatever you like Apple, or if you want to see Euro versus the US dollar, you just search for that. Then we get a list with many different tickers that we can launch the chart on. If you look at the right side, you can see what broker this ticket is connected to. So for instance, this one is connected to Oanda and this one is connected to Pepperstone. If we just choose the top one and press launch chart, we are taken directly to the chart. Once we're in the chart, we can see that there are a lot of menus around the actual chart. But if we start in the top left corner, we can press this button to go home or to the help center, and we can change the language, and also you can enable dark mode, which I personally like. If you look at the top toolbar, we can see on the left side the ticker we are currently viewing. If you push that button, you can search for another ticker and go to that symbol. Right next to it we have the time frame we are currently viewing. Now we're on the 1 minute chart. If you push the 5 minute, we go to the 5 minute chart. And if we push the 1 hour, we go to the 1 hour chart. Right next to it there's a little arrow. If you push that button, you can see all the different time frames that you can choose from. And if you add a star to the right side, it will appear in the top menu. Right next to it is the different charts. So what we are viewing now is a regular candlestick chart, but if you push this button, it will be a Heikin-Ashi chart, and we can also see a regular line chart. Same applies here. You can push the little arrow and see all the other chart types. Next to it is the indicators button. If you push this, you can search for indicators and scripts and other things and add to the chart. We'll go through this later. And right to that we have the alert button. Here we can create alerts that will give us notice when price crosses a certain point, or if it crosses a certain condition in an indicator. We'll also go through this later. And we have a replay button. What the replay button does, it allows us to go back in time to test our strategies on a bar-to-bar basis without knowing the exact future. We will check this out at a later stage. On the right side we have the undo and redo buttons. So you can just undo any changes you didn't want to do, or redo them back. Next to it we have a button to save the chart layout, but we will go through that later. The magnifying glass is a quick search. So you can use it to search for example, a trend line or a Fibonacci retracement tool. The cogwheel contains all the chart settings. This is usually just the layout settings and the preferences of how you want the appearance of the chart. But one thing you should change is the time zone at the bottom here. Change it so it matches your time zone. Next to it is a button to go full screen. And next to that again is a button to take a snapshot. This is basically just taking an image of the chart how it looks like now. So you can either do it like saving an image to your computer, or you can copy the link so you can share it with others. The last button is the publish button, where you can share your ideas with the trading community by publishing the chart you have drawn up. The right toolbar is divided into 3 different parts. The first one is the watch list of the pairs you are watching, your alerts, the news concerning this currency pair, a data window, hot list, an economic calendar, and your ideas if you have any. The second part is your public chats, the private chats, the ideas stream and other people's streams, and notifications. And the 2 on the bottom is the order panel and the DOM. Inside the order panel, you are able to place trades if you have connected your broker to TradingView. Let's just change back to a candlestick chart before we continue. On the left side toolbar, we have all the things we can use to manipulate the chart with drawings or text or basically everything. On the top we have a cross, but if we push the little arrow on the side, we can see that we can change the cursor to a dot or an arrow or an eraser. I like the cross, so I'll just stick to that. The next one is all the line tools. Here we can draw, for example, a trend line that we can draw across the chart as we please. Or we can use a vertical line that will draw a line across the whole chart where we place it. The same with a horizontal line. So if we just drop it here, we can see that we can go back and forward and it will still be there. There are other sorts of line tools that you can push in if you like, so you can just experiment with this as well. Once you have placed some trend lines or other drawings on the chart, you might want to either edit them or delete them. In order to do this, you just click on the item you want to edit or delete, and you'll get this little toolbox that pops up. It will be different from item to item, but if we take this one first, we will have the ability to delete it, edit some of the settings, or we can lock it to the chart so it can't move or anything. Let's go ahead and delete this by pushing the trash can. Then we can go to the trend line, and here we can see that we can change the color and we can change the thickness, or we can change the settings, lock it, add an alert. There are several different things you can do with these lines. You can also just press the delete key to delete it. And if you have a line like this and you see that you want to move it a bit, you can either just drag the line, or you can drag these points to manipulate the line this way. Let's go ahead and delete this one as well. The next one is this one. It contains a set of tools that is used in different strategies. For example, the Fibonacci retracement tool that you can place directly on the chart, like this. We will come back to this later, how all these different tools work. The next one is a set of drawing tools that you can use to just freely draw things on the chart, like the brush, or for example a rectangle, or a path. So there are a lot of different options to just do whatever you want on the chart. Let's just delete those. The next item is also a lot of things you can just put on the chart. So for example, the text field, where you can write text and put it on the screen wherever you like, or you can do it like with the arrow marker. Next we have other sets of drawings that are also used in different strategies, like the Elliott impulse waves. You can just draw them on the chart as you like. Before we continue, we would like to just remove everything we have drawn on the chart this far. So instead of deleting one item, we can just right click on the chart and press the remove drawings button. Then everything disappears. The next set of tools allows you to, for example, place a long position. So if you just pick the tool and press anywhere on the chart, it will place a box like this. So here you can adjust where you want your stop loss to be and where you want your take profit to be. And then you can see what the risk to reward ratio is, and you can see how many pips your stop are and how many pips your take profit is. You can also do this with a short position like this. It's the same thing, just the other way. You also have some other neat tools like the date range, where you can drag it from one point to the other one, and you can see how many bars and how long it have taken. So for example, if we place this one again, we can see that this trade worked out fine, and it took 7 hours or 6 hours to reach or take profit points. The other thing is the price range you can use to just find out how many pips one bar or many bars are. So you can see that this one is 140 pips. The last one in the drawing section is this. This is just a set of many symbols that you can draw if you like on the chart. So like that, or you can make it a thumbs up and change the color on that. It's just symbols that you can place on your chart. Let's just remove everything before we continue. Under the drawing tools we have the measure tool. This is a combination of the price and date range tool that we looked at earlier. So with this you can press and draw, and you can get that this was 27 bars in 3 days and 3 hours, reaching 77.7 pips. The difference between this one and the ones you actually draw on the chart is that once you click anywhere else, it disappears. The magnifying glass is just that you can zoom in on an area if you like that. The next one is the magnet mode, and if you activate this, it only does so that the things you draw on the chart snaps to the bars on the chart. The next one is the stay in drawing mode, which means that normally when you draw something like the Fibonacci retracement tool, you only draw once. But if you activate this one and the tool again, you can draw several tools without selecting it again. And this one just locks all the drawings so that you cannot delete any of them or edit them in any ways. And the last one simply just hides everything you have drawn on the chart. Let's just remove these drawings. When you look at the chart from the bottom left to the right, you can see the time and date for when these bars were printed. And you can also just use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. And you can also do that on price to easier view the price difference, like on these bars over here. If we scroll this wheel up, we can easily see the price change that has happened in this area. Same with this big red candle, we can just zoom out again to make it more viewable when there is a lot of volatility. The last thing I wanted to show you is the quick selection toolbar, this one right here. On the toolbar on the left side, you have the ability to star anything you want, and it will go to this toolbar. So if we just start a trend angle, we will see it pops up right there, and we can select it and use it from the quick toolbar instead of finding it in the list. You may also notice that on the bottom we have a paper trading panel, a strategy tester, Pine editor, and a stock screener. All these tools are great tools in TradingView, but I'm not going into any of these in this trading course. The Pine editor and the strategy tester are more on the advanced side of things than this is. I hope this short tutorial has given you some insight as to how TradingView works. In the next video, we'll take a closer look on how to read a Japanese candlestick chart and why it's better than a traditional line chart. Make sure to like the video and press that subscribe button so that you don't miss it when the next video gets released.